Is there a city of lizard people under Los Angeles? Well, let's talk about it. Get in here. This is Jack with Cosmic Road. I'll talk about UFOs and the paranormal. Please hit like and subscribe and let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Yeah, this is from the LA Times, 1933 or 1934. Really a wild story about a guy who developed his own equipment, X-ray equipment, to scan below LA. And yeah, he found what he believed was a city of lizard people. Now, I don't think we're actually talking about reptilians. We're talking about something more like Atlanteans, which is really intriguing because if you have watched my previous videos on the Core Horror Shaft in the Caucasus Mountains, it appears that, yeah, that was an Atlantean structure, or what seems to be an Atlantean structure, a prehistoric underground structure that may be the entranceway or the air shaft for an underground city or something. It's crazy stuff. I mean, it's a real thing. We don't know what it is. Nobody's really done a thorough investigation of it. And the last people that tried, half of them ended up dying mysteriously afterward. Weird stuff, guys. But yeah, the Atlanteans may have liked underground cities. So is this one of them? Well, let's take a dive. I tried to debunk this. I went to several articles about this. And yeah, I couldn't debunk it. Couldn't debunk it. Nobody seems to know if this is a real thing or not, but it's from this newspaper, the Los Angeles Times, January 29th, 1934. And here's the article. Lizard People's Catacomb City Hunted. Engineer sinks shaft under Fort Moore Hill to find maze of tunnels and priceless treasures of legendary inhabitants. Yeah, so it was crazy. Busy Los Angeles, although little realizing it in the hustle and bustle of modern existence, stands above a lost city of catacombs filled with incalculable treasure and imperishable records of a race of humans further advanced intellectually and scientifically than even the highest type of present-day peoples, in the belief of J. Warren Shufelt, geophysical mining engineer now engaged in an attempt to wrest from the lost city deep in the earth below Fort Moore Hill the secrets of the lizard people of legendary fame in the medicine lodges of the American Indian. So I guess we need to really be asking what the Native Americans think of the lizard people. They're saying this is legendary among the Native Americans. So do they know something about this? Obviously, the Hopis know something about underground people or beings, the ant people. What else do they know, guys? They're interacting with Bigfoot. They're interacting with aliens. They're interacting with the ant people. What do the Native Americans know? I seriously think they were in tune with this stuff at a much higher degree than we are. Unless you're a Native American, and if you are, please let me know about your experiences in the comments below. Yeah, getting back to the story, so firmly does Shufelt and a little staff of assistants believe that a maze of catacombs and priceless golden tablets are to be found beneath the downtown Los Angeles, that the engineer and his aides have already driven a shaft 250 feet into the ground, the mouth of the shaft being on the old Manning property of North Hill Street, overlooking Sunset Boulevard. Shufelt learned of the legend of the lizard people after his radio X-ray had led him hither and yon over an area extending from the public library on West 5th Street to the Southwest Museum on Museum Drive. I knew I was over a pattern of tunnels, he said, and I had mapped out the course of the tunnels in position of large rooms scattered along the tunnel route, as well as the position of deposits of gold, but I couldn't understand the meaning of it. Then Shufelt was taken to Little Chief Greenleaf of the Medicine Lodge of the Hopi Indians in Arizona, whose English name is L. Macklin. The Indian provided the engineer with a legend. Okay, here we go, which, according to both men, dovetails exactly with what Shufelt says he has found. According to the legend, as parted by Shufelt by Macklin, the radio X-ray has revealed the location of one of three lost cities on the Pacific coast, the local one having been dug by the lizard people after the Great Catastrophe, which occurred about 5,000 years ago. This legendary catastrophe was in the form of a huge tongue of fire which came out of the southwest, destroying all life in its path. So maybe some sort of meteor or asteroid. Did strange people live under the site of Los Angeles? An amazing labyrinth. Yeah, this is the map of the labyrinth. Here's a better view of this map that he made. You can see the full thing right there. Apparently, the lizard people built their city to resemble a lizard, which is interesting. Anyway, skipping ahead a little bit, the lost city, dug with powerful chemicals by the lizard people instead of pick and shovel, was drained into the ocean where its tunnels began, according to the legend. The tide passing daily in and out of the lower tunnel portals and forcing air into the upper tunnels provided ventilation and cleansed and sanitized the lower tunnels, the legend states. Large rooms in the domes of the hills above the city of Labyrinths housed 1,000 families in the manner of tall buildings, and imperishable food supplies of the herb variety were stored in the catacombs to provide sustenance for the lizard folk for the great lengths of time as the next fire swept over the earth. So yeah, if these are survivors of Atlantis or descendants or something like that, they are catastrophe prone, aren't they? I mean, Atlantis wiped out. Now they've got this great fire. Of course, I guess if you live long enough, you're going to have catastrophes, right? And that's another thing about the lizard people. They seem to have been long-lived, or at least they emulated the lizard because they believed the lizard was long-lived. The lizard people, the legend has it, regarded the lizard as the symbol of long life. Their city is laid out like a lizard, according to the legend, its tail to the southwest, far below 5th and Hope Streets. Its head to the northeast at Lookout and Marta Streets. The city's key room is situated directly under South Broadway near 2nd Street, according to Shufelt in the legend. This key room is the directory to all parts of the city and to all record tablets, the legend states. All records were kept on gold tablets, 4 feet long and 14 inches wide. On these tablets of gold, gold having been the symbol of life to the legendary lizard people, will be found the recorded history of the Mayans, and on one particular tablet, the southwest corner of which will be missing, is to be found the record of the origin of the human race. Okay, all right, tablets were photographed? What? Shufelt stated he has taken X-ray pictures of 37 such tablets, 3 of which have their southwest corners cut off. Okay, I'm really confused by this. He has this X-ray technology that he's developed supposedly to, map out these tunnels and see things that are underground. Can it actually read tablets? I'm a little skeptical of that. But, who knows, guys? Who knows? Let's go with the story. My radio X-ray pictures. Yeah, he calls them radio X-rays. Okay. Radio X-ray pictures of tunnels and rooms, which are subsurface voids, and of gold pictures with perfect corners, sides, and ends, are scientific proof of their existence. He said, however, the legendary story must remain speculative until unearthed by excavation. And he was trying to unearth it, and he had sunk a shaft 250 feet deep trying to get down there, but it wasn't nearly deep enough. And he was prevented from going any deeper, interestingly. The lizard people, according to Macklin, were of a much higher type intellectually than modern human beings. The intellectual accomplishments of their 9-year-old children were the equal of those of present-day college graduates. So greatly advanced scientifically were these people that in addition to perfecting a chemical solution by which they bored underground without removing earth and rock, they also developed a cement far stronger and better than any in use in modern times, with which they lined their tunnels and rooms. The county of Los Angeles authorized the dig as long as they got 50% of whatever treasure was found. The drilling expedition began, but they found no gold within the first 250 feet. By December, the group had quit the notion, and Shufelt left the public eye. The city deemed the project too dangerous to continue. Just a fascinating story. There is a kind of a sequel to it because there was a woman that had a vision shortly after this. In September 1934, to add to the weirdness, and this is from AmericanGhostWalks.com, but you can find the story elsewhere. Miss Edith Eldon Robinson of nearby Pico Rivera sent a letter to the Journal of American Society for Physical Research. She claimed she had a vision of an ancient submerged civilization under LA. Her vision described a culture of surpassing excellence with a development of art and architecture superior to anything now existing. She had a vision of tunnels extending to the seashore, much like Greenleaf claimed. She wasn't alone when she had her moment of clairvoyance, and her friends swore that she had it before any of the lizard people business was announced by the local newspaper. Okay, well, really interesting stuff, guys. I wish there was more information about this. I wish somebody had gone down there to find out, if there was a city of lizard people down there, of humans that had built underground cities. Certainly, we've seen underground cities built by humans before. I think there's a really great one in Turkey, but this might be something different. This might be something more Atlantean. They're using high-tech, technology to bore these tunnels out, theoretically, engraving on tablets. Who knows, guys? Who knows if any of this is true, but it's a fun story. And it does kind of go with the idea of Atlanteans building cities underground, which is a thing that's out there, and there is at least some evidence for it, like with the Korahora shaft. Could this be more evidence for it? Or is this just a guy telling tales about some gadget he invented? Then nobody can debunk it because nobody has gone down that deep to debunk it, and nobody is using his X-ray radio to do it. So I guess we need to reinvent his X-ray radio and see if we can determine for ourselves if this thing is real. Of course, X-ray radio, God knows if that's like giving off radiation or something, but let me know what you think about this crazy story. Are there, or were there, lizard people, some sort of advanced humans living underground below LA? Let me know what you think about it all in the comments below. Of course, I'll link to all of this stuff, and you can research it at your leisure to the extent that there is material to research. Like and subscribe. There's a merch store below. Buy a coffee mug, buy a t-shirt, become a channel member. Channel members are rock stars, and I really appreciate you guys' support. Thank you. Meanwhile, there are plenty of other videos on the channel, and I'll see you guys next time. This is Jack with Cosmic Road, signing out.